Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in today's video I'll be doing a bit of a different thing. It's not really gaming, it's a bit, I guess you could say, work related. And we'll be looking at Blender today. I have for the past few months been learning Blender, and here are some of the few backrooms animations I have made. So this is one of them, one of my best ones I've made. I don't know why the audio is like that, it just extracted weird. And this is without the VHS effect. This is just all from all the compositing in Blender. This is just the raw render, no added VHS effect after post. And also some of this doesn't make sense, so I'm just going to explain it since I haven't added really any sound effects. So essentially, since it's stuck in there, he kind of kicks it and shakes it. I haven't added sound effects for that yet, so yeah, it's just kind of weird. And essentially, I know I haven't really shown them on this channel, but I just kind of want to do a rundown of how I do them. So my most recent one was this one. It was a very short animation, but it was probably one of the most complex because of the fact that I use my motion tracking with a live camera track. So essentially what I do is I use this add-on called Virtue Camera, as you can see, and I will just start, and I can scan a QR code with my phone, and it will literally take the movement from my phone in real time, transport it over to the camera inside of Blender. That is also how I got this realistic camera movement right here. That's how I got it, and I just kind of screwed the fluorescent light ambience on top, and you can see that the monster kind of just darts there, because when you're animated in Blender, you don't have to animate everything. I didn't have to animate him running here. You can see I kind of animate a bit of it, like outside that. Like you just kind of see him move a bit, and then he just darts forward. So when my camera turns around, you can see that the hand is just sitting right there, which is the look that I wanted. One of the hardest thing that I did multiple takes on this capture. You can also tell this is a pattern here, but right here, there is no pillar. And the reason for that is since it's in real time, which actually real time is probably easiest because it also displays where my camera is in the 3D space. So I just kept running into it because I either did one of two things, or actually one of three things. When going through the wall like that, I went inside of the wall, I went too far to the side. I didn't turn around like that to look at the hand, or I ran into the pillar that used to be right there because I had to erase it. Or I just did all the above. I actually did that once. I once went to the wall, didn't look back, I went into the pillar. It looked horrible. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you, this one turned out horrible. I need to do it again because of this frame right here. I'm rotating the camera, and it just instantly stops because my hand is so used to being like stabilized when I'm recording. Because usually when you're recording, you don't try to, have it all. Well, I want shaky footage. You try to have it stabilized. So I had the issue with stopping my camera rotation. Like you can see here when I turn back around, it just like stays still perfectly. I also don't like how fast I went through there, because with me going that fast through the wall means that I have shorter time from the time that we see the monster approaching right there, and from the time that the hand goes in there. So it makes it seem like the monster is like selectively fast, which would not make sense because it's an aggressive species, you know? So it's kind of. There's also a hand in the wall because just, you know, cutting corners. You can't see in the wall, of course, so you can't see that's there. And for anybody that doesn't know really what Blender is, this is the goofy mode. I just have this like that, so essentially what it normally looks like is like this. And it's really hard to tell what's where sometimes, like this. I have troubles lining up stuff, so what I have to do is I have to just do texture. It gets the textures all wrong and all that, but that is not the mode it renders in. So this is the texture preview mode. And then this is the render mode, which it has to actually render. And, it renders all the lights, shadows, all that. I also noticed, just now actually, I forgot to put lights. And what I mean by I forgot to put lights over here. So at the end, when he is running away, it was literally just straight up pitch black, which is not something you want. Because what I wanted it to do was essentially like, oh, wrong mode. I wanted it to kind of, like the footage continues later when he's like running over here. And then I'd go through like a wall right here and I'd continue to go build and all that. But yeah, there's multiple other areas. Like for example, my first ever render. Not my first ever render ever, but my first like high quality render had the fog right here. That was actually pretty easy to do. I just had to configure it so it was perfect. I literally just had a cube and made it into fog by adding volume to it. And yeah, but that's pretty much how I like animate stuff. And once again, for people who don't know really how Blender works, this is all the armatures. So this is how I animate. I'd go in here. I have keyframes for everything, and I'd go in here and I'd rotate his arm perfectly. So all that. And I don't know why he does that. Well, actually, I do because my animation from the other day has carried over. Let me just. So now he kind of keeps that position instead of going absolute crazy. He still goes crazy, but it's a bit better, I could say. Yeah, that's essentially what I do. And then for the VHS look, I do some compositing in Blender. You can't make it look too good, so I just make it look a little bit distorted. And if you don't know really what that does, since most camcorders aren't really like perfect, they usually have a bit of a warp around the edges. Let me find the correct image for it. I'm not sure if you can see it here. You can actually see I'll put a stick in editing. It's not perfectly straight. These aren't straight because of the fact that the camera lens is like round. It's kind of like a fisheye effect. It kind of rounds everything out around the edges and sometimes towards the center a bit. If it's a big object, I added the bloom and I added a bit of blur. I honestly need to get rid of the blur because I've actually noticed this. I made the wallpaper really small, which I like it this size because when you have it rendered, it doesn't look like too big. Because that to me that looks perfect, And then I just added a bit of bloom, sensor noise, which adds this little noise thing. And then I added more blur. Well, no, actually, I added blur last because the way Blender works is say for example, I take the blur. Oops. Say I take the blur and I swap it. Oops. Hold up. Uh, Crap. Why am I not able to do this? So, you got that right there. So if I did like this, well, I don't have a render, but so essentially it wouldn't blur out the sensor noise. So it'd just be blurry image and then perfectly crystal clear sensor noise, which is not a thing that you want. You want all the effects to kind of look the same. So yeah, essentially that's how I do my compositing. And then I throw it into an app called NTSCR, I think. I can't remember. NTSCRS. So here, I'm just going to show you all that real quick. So I have this, and then I will go in here. I'll go to videos. You can see all the different videos that I have. So I throw in my render, and it adds the effect for me. I have customization, but I don't do too much of that. Yeah, it adds some really good effects. I really like this. Like, you can see how grainy this looks. And if I swap over to Blender, okay, I don't know what frame that was actually. I genuinely don't know what frame that was. I can find it though. Let me just move a few frames. Okay, let me just. Okay, so this is the frame. So you can see that compared to that, it looks way better. Like, so much better. And the good thing is you can't really make it out much. You just kind of see a black figure, so that's about it. Like, you can't really see anything else. Yep, see what I mean? It's just pitch black. And I guess that could look good. He's running down the black hall, and then like there's a light on the other side, but that would affect what it looks like here. So it looked like a light just randomly appeared. But yeah, you can also see the just complete stop. Like if it was a bit more realistic, I'd keep moving it. I don't know if it was a tracking glitch or if my hand's just really, really stable. But like for example, while I'm in editing, I'm just gonna go ahead and take this right here. Like I'll just put this footage. I don't know how I got here, but I'm stuck in the backrooms now. What in the world? Like see that I just added a VHS effect onto it. It looks so different. Um but yeah, I have that. And then with my other animations, also kind of feel bad because most of these models aren't actually mine. And I am sorry for that. Uh-oh. What just happened? Okay. See, like this model right here, this is not mine. Because I'm good at animating, texturing, all that. But what I am not good at is modeling. I am not a good modeler. Like, for example, if I ever tried to make this, I'd just be extruding the faces, which would not look this good. And, I mean, yeah, the textures are stretched, but it's not like you're gonna see that. And, I mean, look at how good this looks. I don't even know what type of texture this is. I think they took a metal texture. Because it kind of looks like rust or something. But, I mean, look at that. That looks so good. And the weird part, the part I don't like about this thing is the fact that there's so many different pieces. So instead of this being just all one big piece, there's this piece, and this piece. So you have that, that, and then on top of that, you have the armatures, which you have to select in order for it to not do what it just did. Because if you don't select the armatures, that don't look like no life form because the objects try to stay where the little points are, so it just freaks out completely. I mean, although I'm not gonna lie, this actually looks like a good bacteria entity or life form. Sorry. Okay, no, that actually looks kind of good. I'm not gonna lie. I need to add some life form sounds also. I'd like to. Yeah, that looks pretty good, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Okay. I don't know what I've done. I'm not saving this or anything, so. But, one thing that I don't really know why I did, I've just modeled the whole place out. Like, I don't need this over here. I don't need this. I don't need this. But I just have it for, like, lore, I guess. And also, I didn't know how to model. You can tell when I made what because of this right here. What might look good when you are in render mode. What the heck is wrong with my scene right now? What? Why are there literally no lights? The lights are all just shifted up. Oh, okay, I didn't realize I did that. But you can tell that I modeled this early on. Okay, that doesn't even look right. What? What did I do? You can tell because the little crease. I literally just took a cube and a cylinder and kind of smacked on top of each other. So it isn't perfectly lined up. Oh my god, that will forever haunt me. Oh good god. Just look at that. Oh gosh, okay. I don't even want to look at that anymore. Oh good lord. Some other backrooms animations I haven't done are like these. And as you're watching this, I just want you to know this was one of my first ever renders. I did not this render was not used with Shakeify as I'm voiceovering this. I just realized I forgot to denoise it. I had no Shakeify. This was my first one ever, pretty much. You can see the line on the wall on the left, and all the lines in the walls. They're just so broken. I don't know what I was even doing here. And also, if you're wondering why the shake looks so horrible, it's because I was using a mode on Blender that literally makes me use my mouse as the cursor and movement, so I was just shaking my mouse violently. I don't even know how I got it this bad. Like, this is crappy. They are just simple, animations, not any advanced backroom stuff. I mean, it was pretty easy to do that. Like, I'll do it right now actually. So, for example, one of them that was easy. First step, delete the default cube. Then you add a torus, and then you rotate the torus 90 degrees. I don't care which way, red or green. I don't know what you want to call them, Y or X axis. And then you just kind of scale it like this to make it like an oval. That's good. And then, so what I do is I copy, paste, rotate it 90 degrees, and then I essentially just take that and this, copy, paste. Now that I've, uh-oh. Okay, so now that I have that, I'm just gonna copy, paste, boom. And I can make the chain as long as I want. And then, so I take this, I go to physics. It's not here, it's, in the actual physics tab. So rigid body, and then you do passive mesh. And then another thing that I enjoy doing is, well, you actually have to do it. So you take this, turn it to active, here, passive. So it's passive, it's mesh. Alright. Oh man, why does my cat have to get up here at this time? Oh my god, my cat has her butt in the. I swear to God. Cat, do not step on my keyboard! There's too many keybinds on Blender for you to be stepping on my keyboard. Okay, I thought that would apply to all. What in the world? So, I guess I'm just gonna go through this one by one. Mesh, blah blah blah. Mesh, blah blah blah. Mesh. Rigid body, mesh. And then this one, rigid body, mesh. And now we just go through all of them to make sure that there are rigid bodies on each of them. So now if you run the animation, boom, you have a chain. I am also gonna make this animated, so I'm gonna put a keyframe in right here. Perfect. And then I'm gonna put a keyframe in right here. It's gonna be moved over there. So if we run the animation, you can see. Okay, so 84, so 60. So if I go to 120, I'm gonna move this way up. Like way up. Okay, so perfect. And now go up with it. And then so 120 more frames, we would be okay. 240. I'm gonna make the frame just generally longer. So I'm gonna take this and go 500. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and put this all the way down here. Back where we started. That's not really where we started, is it? So here, I'm just gonna. Oh no, I deleted it. Okay, I'll just go with that. So if we run the Blender just crashed. Okay. That was not a deal. Oh, it was the last thing I had. Okay. But it wasn't the chains. Yeah, this is my modeling of a camcorder. So yeah, this is my camcorder. It plays one of my animations. Yay. Yeah, that's essentially all it does. And I have a speaker that I never set up. And it doesn't work. That's fine, you know. There's a lot of other things that I can do in Blender. Obviously, I can do liquid simulations, but I will not do anything complex. Let me just one of the easiest things for me to do. So I have two spears. So first thing I'm gonna do with my spear is I am going to loop cut it in half, and then what I'm gonna do after that. Okay, so essentially what I'm doing here is I'm just making a bowl. That's what I'm trying to say. So watch me make a bowl for the next 20 minutes or something. You know, it don't work if I make it really thick. Okay, it just wasn't thick enough. It needs to be thick. I'm just making it really thick so it actually works with the fluid. So watch me do that. I'll crank it up to. Okay. It's gotten to the point where it's literally perfect. So I'm just gonna let me shrink this down. And then I'm just gonna put it as inflow. Okay, this footage is like 130, or no, like an hour and 30 minutes long, so I'm just gonna shorten it. I'm essentially just trying to make it look like water and a bit see-through. and trying to perfect the way it looks. So, it's an inflow like a faucet right there. So, you know, I'm just making it look like water. So, watch the next like 30 minutes of me doing that. I feel like this is a cartoon type of water. Yeah, this would be cartoon water. I forgot to set the end at the right spot. So I made a little mistake. I started baking the fluid so it would go, fluidly. It would go smooth. It would run smooth in the playback. I didn't really want to bake it because baking it requires like hours of work. So I was trying to close Blender and essentially it just froze because I was trying to exit it. Oh God, help me. Okay, I gotta open Task Manager for this. I started baking the fluid simulation and I don't want to wait for it, and it just won't close. Well, I've already ended. Okay. Oh, and also, if anybody watching this that makes any sort of Blender add-on, why can you not give us any Android motion tracking apps? Like, let me just show y'all, for example, how this like works. I paid like $20 for this app because there's literally nothing on Android. Like, and when I say nothing, I mean nothing. Because there is everything's on iPhone. Like, there are literally what I paid $20 for free on, like, you know, iOS, and for no reason. I mean, yeah, Androids might not have as good of LiDAR trackers, but who cares? Mine tracks perfectly fine most of the time on this app. Unless my cat is walking in frame and there is a moving object in the frame, it works perfectly fine. I'm just gonna add this cube. I'm just gonna extrude it sometimes. What just happened to the cube? What? I just. Huh? Oh, I extruded the cube out of the cube. I didn't even know you could do that at that point. What is going on in this video? Okay, so let's make like a ramp. You know what? No. Let me learn how to bevel. Okay. Okay. I'm pretty sure if you hold Alt, I may be wrong, but there's a way for you to invert it. What is profile shape? Okay, so if I put the shape like that and put it, okay, it just adds vertices. If I put it to 0, okay, I actually kind of like that. How do I? What did I just do? That looks pretty good. That's what I was going for, like a half ramp. So now I can go on my phone. If pretty sure I can also do it like this. As you can see, it just tracks with the camera. So here, I what I usually do is like this. So essentially, what I do is I can just track my camera like this. I'm moving my phone around. I'm trying to move, but I don't want to move away from my microphone, so I'm just moving my phone back and forth. So like here, let me just film a really cinematic scene for y'all. So you might be wondering, what in the world are you pointing your phone at? Trust me, it will look good. But here, let me just take a screenshot of like what the app looks like. So when I'm filming, oh, it just crashed. Okay. Um, well, I'll take a screenshot later. This is what the app on the phone looks like, and yeah, that's essentially it. I can control my scale, smoothness, and zoom, of course. And yeah, so essentially I just made a really cool scene. I did refilm the camera movement, but I'll see you then. But so what I'm gonna do, maybe, is add like a skateboard model, and it's just like going up the ramp or something. Or like a ball. You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna add like a rigid body ball and have it like go up the ramp and down and then back up. So, yeah, I will see you when that happens. What in the world am I doing here? Am I doing? Huh? Why was it doing that? Okay, so I'm gonna explain what's about to happen here. So essentially, I tried to make a half ramp. It didn't work, so I decided to go with the tube. And then I connected the tube. Then I made it nice and good. And then I adjusted the lighting, added the ball. And I tried to make it glow green, but I couldn't make it glow green without it being completely white, and it wouldn't even object any lights. So I decided to attach green lights onto the ball. But then I realized that they wouldn't follow the ball, and the ball did not look green. So what I did is I tried to parent it to them so it would follow. So I just deleted it, put a light inside of the ball, and disabled shadow so it still showed the light. And then I changed the weight so it would reach a very far distance, but then it wouldn't make it back. So I added a wind force. And then after testing it, it kept blowing off. So I made that little bowling lane alley things to keep it from blowing off of the edge. And then I managed to make it so it could go back up and back down. But then I realized also that it was not clear, it was fully opaque. And then I realized that the footage wasn't right, so I redid the camera animation with my phone. And then this is me rendering it in Eevee, which is a real time editor. It did not save correctly. So then I did it again in a different output. And then right here, I rendered it in cycles, which is the most realistic version you could possibly have. So that's the most realistic light will react to an object. I don't know why that one ramp is like perfectly glass. I left it rendering because I like took a quick nap. And I also want to notice this is in like 40x speed. This took like an hour. After all those hours that you saw in probably 30 seconds. here is the final animation. Alright, that will be the end of the video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one.